Hi, everyone. I know it's an odd time. I don't normally come live at this time of the day, but I've had a lot going on with my mom in the hospital the last week and a half. And so I wasn't able to get a video recorded and produced and ready for you. And so I'm a little behind on that Fresh Start series that I talked to you about. But as we know, there are no accidents. So, there's some things I'm going through personally, and I'm seeing this with clients and a lot of people around me in regarding to changing our stories. So I feel guided to come here today and just really come raw and real and live and communicate with those of you that show up. So if you're coming in, let me know that you're here and also let me know where you're tuning in from. I'm going to also do a collective energy reading and a collective reading from the card deck Twin Flame Twin Flame Ascension Oracle card deck. Also, I would just want to let everybody know that it has came live. We've gotten everything mailed out for all the orders that we have. And in addition to that, hold on one second. I just want to make sure I have my mic close enough so you can hear me better. But in addition to that, not only have we been, got all that out there, and now it's live. One of the things that I happened to just think about, and I did not put a link down here for the live, but I'm going to put it down for when I'm finished with the live. So if you're coming into this later or if you're watching me now, please check when I update this. But Twin Flame Ascension was nominated for an award for the COVR Award, which is a coalition of visionary resources. So it's up for a nomination for an award that should I win the award, then I get to get it presented in Denver, Colorado, one of the, actually the largest international convention for mind, body, spirit resources. So I'm super excited about that. If you wouldn't mind to vote for me, and I also have some other people that are in it that are from my publisher, US Game Systems, thanking them, by the way, for the nomination. And as well as a couple other people I know that have been also nominated. So I'll make a list down below. It does take a couple minutes for you to actually go through it because you have to vote for everyone, not just mine. But I thank you in advance for all your support, your love, and all of you that have, gotten the deck. I would love the feedback on the deck now that, people are getting the deck. So make sure if you've got the deck that you tag me on it on one of the social medias and let me see it and provide your feedback either in a comment here in one of the social media platforms, or like I said, post it and share the shine and then tag me on it. I would love, love, love your feedback. Okay. With that said, I want to spend a few minutes just chatting and talking about the idea and the concept of changing stories and why that is coming through, what I'm seeing in it, how, if you're experiencing some of the things I'm going to talk about, I want to know about that. And then I'll share how that, because that's a piece of the energy, how that relates to the collective, where the collective stands. And I'll do a reading using the cards collectively. Normally I come on and do a live when I do come on live, and I've been doing the one card readings live, but I wasn't going to have a chance to spend that amount of time and do it this evening because I have another engagement. However, I did want to show up and I wanted to just touch base and try to shed some energy on you and your journey and where you're at. So I'm going to take a moment just to kind of tune into the energy. And if you're just coming into this, even at the replay or coming in at this moment, please, again, let me know where you're coming from and know that this energy is going to be transmitted to you in the process. Hi there, Meredith. Hello. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you on the deck. Yes. And I will have in the description at the end, because I forgot to put it in there beforehand. But Meredith, if you wouldn't mind at some point voting for that nomination, I would super appreciate it. Hey, LaShawn, hello from Texas. Hello. Thank you. If you're just coming in, I was saying this is not my normal time of day to come, but I was unable to get a video recorded and produced and, put out there for you beforehand because my mother's in the hospital and she's been very ill. Any prayers, energy to send to her would be amazingly awesome. And we would totally appreciate it. She's had, and just, I guess, to share with you, just so you kind of know what's going on. She took care of my dad for many months. And, my dad passed 6 months ago. And she really put into herself. And this is a good place for me to lead into the stories because there's a story behind what I'm going to share. And that'll lead me into the changing our stories. Okay. So basically, my mom took care of my dad for many months, anyway, for years, really, but for 11 months straight after he had went unconscious and had an issue with some brain seizures and was unconscious too long, and it left a little bit of brain damage. And so he wasn't able to do certain things. So she, basically for 11 months, almost never slept more than 2 to 3 hours at a time and took care of him virtually around the clock. And so it really put a toll on her. And then he passed away. And then she was off to the races trying to just go about her life and be busy. Like she was tied down all that time. And then all of a sudden her hip starts bothering her. Now I have to tell you something about that. He had hip pain before he died so bad that he would lay there and cry and scream. And they did all these tests on his hip. Nothing showed up. Okay. And this is how the Twin Flame journey works on the integration or the energy as well. And this was off topic, like I said, but it obviously is coming through. But after he passed and after she's settling and getting into her life, all of a sudden she starts having the same hip pain that he complained about overnight. Like it hit her out of nowhere, no reason. And then the next day she couldn't get out of bed and she had to go to the emergency room, and they did all this stuff on her low back that she had sciatica, disc bulging, and started trying to say she had all this stuff with her back going on. Well, it took them like almost 2 months. There was a delayed diagnosis in it, and it took them almost 2 months to diagnose that she had a hip fracture. So from January until like the end of March, on March 26th, she has been laying in bed, pain, like so painful, just waiting for a 6-week routine MRI to be able to determine. Then by accident, when they did the MRI, they was still doing of the low back, but it exposed the hips and an unexpected fracture is there. It's on her right side, which is masculine. And, my dad had all this pain that it's almost like he carried the pain for her all that time. And then now she's taken it, and now she literally has this fracture. So it's so interesting, the energetic aspects of it. And so as I say this, then like what I have been seeing in my personal self is a little bit of a repeat of I spent a lot of time with my dad ill for many years. And every time I would start to move forward in a direction, then it would be like, oh, I'm sucked kind of back into, things to family and ties and things to break and things to learn personally and setting boundaries and taking care of self. And then how do you fit yourself into that? Right. And like she wasn't. So I'm kind of teaching her now to set her own boundaries and to learn how to have self-care that she's never done for herself her whole life. But one of the things I'm finding in this now is because I didn't expect to, be off moving forward again with all these new brilliant things. And then now I'm kind of sucked back into, she happens to be in a hospital close by where we live and not at her hometown. So, naturally we go see her and spend time with her. And one thing in changing the story is I had put, like, say, for instance, my mom, as I was going to school to become a chiropractor, my mom watched my kids and basically took care of them while I worked 3 jobs and went to school. And so that's where I say, when we talk about trying to do things like easier, we don't have to push through this energy anymore. We can be more relaxed with the energy and we can be more feminine and we don't have to work so hard. and I only knew how to drive, and I didn't know how to be the passenger or how to receive. And so, but my mother has always been like a giver and the same thing in some ways, but she's very much more in her feminine nurturing skills. So she nurtured my children as they were growing up. And I've always had so much respect for that because she has motherly skills that I was never born with, that I don't even know how to offer those skills because I never knew how to connect in those nurturing ways. So my own journey has taken me in to become my own divine parent, to understand how to nurture myself in those ways that, you know, my mother has. And she has it to give everyone, but she doesn't have it for herself. So basically, though, in this process, it's like a lot of things are repeating themselves. In this case, she's back in the hospital. It's pulling me away from work and things I need to do or would like to do, or like feeling like I broke that mold and I'm trying to move forward, and then being tethered back into another thing that's not technically yours, right? But yet, what do you do? Because this is family and it's, you know, unexpected, and, you know, you want to be there for family. But at the same token, you also have to set your own boundaries and your own self-love, and it's a fine line. And so where a lot of times, you know, I used to think, talking of the stories, I would think, well, you know, I would kind of like think I wasn't this great of a mom because my mom raised my kids, or repeating things like, say now, it's like, okay, I knew I was a driver and I had no problem pushing forward and doing what I needed to do for my future, my goals with what I wanted. And if you got in my way, I would run you over. And so, you know, with allowing myself to realize that those are new paradigms that we came here to set and break the molds. We don't have to feel guilty for, you know, feeling in some ways like you can't show up like maybe you want to for other people or your parents or in these situations, right? So it's about me being able now to change the story to be like, okay, my mother is in the hospital, but I can find balance in it. I can go see her, but I can't be there all the time. And even though I've been there a lot and it's pulled me away, then I don't at first started looking at, okay, what do I need to learn? Why is this repeating? What is it I need to do? And I think the key in that is it's not like I need to do anything, that I can change the story with my mother to show up in a place of love, but not feel guilty for not being able to give like 100% of maybe what I would like to. And I am actually giving more than I've ever gave before in some ways because of like I said, you know, she handled my kids when they were young. So what I'm also seeing in that is that I'm going through repeated cycles, things come into closure, revisiting timelines that are coming full circle, and I'm seeing other people do this, and these stories that we've told ourselves that have kept us in prison to limitation. And that is the key. These stories that we're going through have limited us. And even in the spiritual realm of, like, say, protecting myself because of the things I've been through, my COVID scenario and issue and illness that I had last year. There's so many limitations that I put on myself to try to nurture myself, to try to protect myself. And somehow those stories are still playing out. And I'm seeing where things are coming up and showing up to be like the stories arising. And now I'm seeing the story as the limitation. The block to going forward is only now because the story is still running inside of me of how I've created a habit in my thoughts, feelings, and actions. And for me to let go of the idea that I have to, one, do anything to fix myself anymore. What's wrong with the way we are, right? We tend to sometimes in that story as we dig up stuff thinking, okay, we're in such a habit of like, okay, what is it? What do I need to do? What's the work? This is soul work. What is the work? What can I do? And let's take action. But I feel like we're in a place that the action is really just honoring where we are and to know that, just showing up like I'm showing up here today is enough. And it doesn't have to come from a place of perfection or, and if you've watched my self-love makeover, you will notice that I talked about in the last week's video I posted, and which, by the way, I posted last week's video when I did, because I pre-recorded it and had it ready to go to share with you my journey, on my self-love journey of me going to the next level of my quantum image, and how I'm going to have a photo shoot, and how doing that whole series on the self-love makeover series is what helped me start to realize in myself that I need to stop waiting to get the photo shoot, to feel like that I got to look good to feel good, because I wasn't feeling at my best. But if I can go ahead and start stepping into looking good and stop waiting to look good to feel good, doing some things for myself will help me feel better about myself. And so this is part of this is, taking the action that we need to take, that we're postponing for whatever reason. And by postponing these things is really setting us up into limitations that no longer serve us. And that we can literally let go of those limitations if we will face, and well, I wouldn't even say face, because it's not even really about fear anymore. It's just about a subconscious program, technically, that's going. And now seeing that the story you've created for yourself, that if you change it, you can rise above where you are and go to the next level. Because I've been talking to you guys about the next level. And this is one way to go to the next level with who it is you came here to be, what it is you want to do and implement. And, how can you now integrate that energy of that higher self, embody it, and then integrate it into your life so that you can begin to materialize your desires and dreams into your reality, rather than continuing to wait until they show up. You show up, and then all of that shows up. And then you begin to crystallize inside of yourself more of who you are from that authentic state of the true you, and give yourself permission to be who you are at the core of your being. Okay, I feel complete with that at the moment. More might come through. But one thing I want to say is that seems to be the collective energy right now, that these stories are coming up over and over and over, and people are experiencing it. So if you're experiencing a revisit of cycles and situations that you're visiting in order to make you look at your patterns, your thoughts, and your actions, and to realize you need to implement them in a new way, please let me know what they are, and comment and share what you're experiencing in that. And if you're still listening with me and you're still here, and it looks like several of you still are, and so thank you for being here with me. I'd love to hear what you're experiencing, so we could talk about this from a collective standpoint for the collective energy. And while I'm waiting to kind of see if any of you have any comments to make on that, I am going to start a collective reading using the Twin Flame Ascension Oracle deck. And this reading, the intention behind this reading is going to be discussing these ways to change your story. Or I'm going to be discussing that, or sharing with you ways. And I feel like there's 3 main ways. And, oh, wow. Well, that was a cool one. Okay, sure. So basically, 4 cards came out, even though I told you 3. So, and then I also felt guided to talk about the bottom, because 5 total represents magic and creation, and what it is you came here to contribute in your, soul's mission, and what it is you came here to do. So, okay, this is awesome. This is awesome. Okay, I knew I should show you the bottom of the card. So the bottom deck, we're going to start there, and then we're going to kind of work our way through what I've seen. So the first card is, first of all, it says 5-5 on it. Okay, and it says Master Alchemist, and using the violet flame activation to alchemize and transmute your energy to keep yourself cleansed, clear, and elevated from any lower frequencies that maybe the thoughts, feelings, and actions that you're experiencing, going through. And one of the things I want to say with that right now that I'm seeing, it has a lot to do with receiving support. And a lot of people are getting triggered right now that I've been seeing. And I've actually seen where I've had these triggers take place with people around me, that it's triggering the sense of your feminine side being able to take action going forward, because we are still trying to operate somewhat from the masculine side, even though we're seeing it. So if you've been operating in your feminine, right now your feminine action needs to be the ability to receive. But with this, this Master Alchemist is to know that when you think about the alchemy is a transformation of a low frequency to a higher frequency, or low state to a high state. And that's what this whole journey, this whole twin flame journey, or this whole ascension journey is all about, going from a lower state, a lower frequency, into a higher state of being. And how can we do that in a way that we are not as compromised in a place of suffering? Because I don't know about you, but like, I have spent the majority of my journey in suffering. And I am choosing to say, I no longer need to or desire to suffer. I am going to choose to take actions from a place of a higher state of being. And this is going to help me to actualize that which I desire from a higher state, rather than staying stuck even in the lower physical state. But the transformation in this process requires action. And that's where a lot of people are getting stuck, because they don't know where to start or what action to take in order to transcend the limitations. And that can be coming from subconscious blocks. It can be coming from, interference with energy that is chaos going on around you. It can be fear, the fear that is blocking you from like staying limited. And also, we can, in these stories, those stories can play out because we can minimize things to keep ourselves safe, in the sense of protection that we're really desiring, and we're trying to protect ourselves on some state. But if we can move beyond these limitations and realize that the universe is the one that's truly providing for us and truly protecting us, and that when we get alignment with ourselves and we get in alignment with the source, then we're in alignment with the abundance and the creation and the ability to be the master alchemist and create what it is we want. And so that's where, when I've talked to you guys, what do you want? And if you're with me, or, you come into this later, I would love to hear what it is that you want to become the creator of in your own life. And if you don't know what that is, then the universe can't support you until you say yes to, even if you don't know what it is, saying yes to whatever that is. I'm willing to step into it. And I don't know how. So, speak to your guidance and ask, listen, and allow. And ask for direction, ask for guidance, ask to move forward in a place of your soul's destiny. And there's I don't know what's coming in, but I'm going to pause because I just want to feel this, because I can tell it's something coming in that's important. So just give me 1 second. If you're with me, just feel the energy coming through. Okay, so as I said, that the energy is of the violet flame coming through right now. So I'm going to hold space for this violet flame and see what this message is. So what I'm seeing in this is that it's important for you to come into this alignment of yourself to merge your higher self and your lower self together. So when I talk about the lower state and the higher state, it's not about eliminating one to have the other. It's about finding the balance in both, because we are not going to always be just highly state person. We're going to experience these things, and it's about how can we find the balance between any resistance and surrender to change and to going with the flow. And flow has been coming through a lot too. And I've been working with people in their writing and writing kind of group that I'm doing to help people write their stories for a project that I have and a future upcoming writers program that I'll be, sharing with you once it's ready. It's not ready yet, but just know, like, in these stories, so they're sharing their story in this project that I have, their twin flame journey, their story. And in that story, they're having trouble turning the story into a teaching tool. So the story is about learning how to share your message of what it is you came here to do or what you've experienced and putting that pain into a purpose. But when you use the fuel from the resistance and the pain itself, then that fuel is used for creation. And using that for the creation of the purpose of what that you went through it for and what you learned out of it and what you can help others out of it, you can actually transform it through taking the story and sharing it in a way that you're not just presenting a story, you're sharing a story in a way that that story is helping other people by dialoguing with them and sharing with them in a way that you're the best friend and they can connect to you in these stories. In this, every one of these people that I've been working with are being triggered by the story of reliving out what it is that they've experienced. And some of them are having an easier time than others with that. And in it, though, it's about, hi there. Is it Maria? Sorry, it was so long I couldn't tell what it was. Hello, Maria. Thank you for joining me. In those stories, though, it's about facing the part of the problem of turning it to a teaching tool is letting go of the story. But in this, what I've realized in my own experience and with working people, we keep thinking we got to let go of the story. But it's not really about letting it go of what we've been through. It's more about how we can transform what we've been through and use it for power, basically. And that takes a shift in perception. And that also takes you being able to honor the experience you went through and finding the gratitude for it that then becomes the gift as you look at the lessons and look at your own personal transformation and how you've transformed through the process. And that's the true nature of alchemy. And that's the true nature of, changing a story from low to high vibration, but ultimately finding the balance in it and coming into alignment with yourself so that you begin to then remember who your identity of who you are. And the twos are balanced as well in that. And so you can take off the mask of who you've been in all these many aspects and the good ones and the bad ones and not judge yourself any longer. And that's another thing about using the writing example I just mentioned. When we write, say writing a book or trying to write these stories, there's, so many people get so triggered by writing because it brings up this sense of I'm not good enough. Or what are people going to think? Or do I need to hide my story because people are going to judge my story? But all of those things are the reflection of you and judging yourself and not taking off your own mask to be open, raw, real, and show up authentically, to allow yourself to be transparent and vulnerable to be seen. And this is the true you. The true you and your identity is the one that is under the mask. So let yourself be seen. Let yourself shine. Let yourself experience the emotions you've separated from that's blocking you from connecting to more emotional intelligence in your heart because you've put up walls of protection due to rejection. And that's created these fears that if I let down the wall, how am I going to connect and experience love? Because I might get hurt again. I might go through this twin flame journey again and, repeated cycles of the patterns going over and over and over and over. Hello, Amy. Oh, thank you, Amy, so much. I'm glad you're sharing this with me. Thank you. I appreciate the feedback. I really, really do. If any of you are just coming in, I'm just going to share this. And just in case, one, the Twin Flame Ascension deck is available now. Links are above and below. And it was also nominated for an award. And I forgot to put the link because I forgot to even mention it. I forgot to put the link in here to vote for it. But I'm going to put a link in after. And if you wouldn't mind voting for me for an awards that I might win coming up for what's called a COVR Award, which is Coalition Visionary Resources, that in June, the voting is open from now until 25th of April. Thank you. Thank you, Cosmic Light. Welcome. Good to see you back. And the winners will be announced at the beginning of May, on May 2nd. And so basically, this award is so huge. It represents like a resource and a tool that can help people in the mind, body, spirit at the largest convention, at the international convention of mind, body, spirit resources and products that exist, that's international. So hello, Getty. And so is it Getty? Yes, Getty, I think. So anyway, I'll post it after. So I'm going to get back to the reading that I'm doing. And if you're just again coming in, because a lot of you look like you're coming in now, that I'm today not doing as much as the one card readings because of, and if you're just coming in, go back and listen to some of what I've said. But today I present to you a message, a collective reading, and it's based on changing our stories so we can let go of limitations and we can alchemize and we can transform and we can connect to our true identity, is what I was saying, so that then we can begin to balance our masculine and feminine energies as well as our higher self and our lower self coming into balance. And this is the twin flame card I drew this. And that everything is possible now when we enter that vortex. And in this twin flame card, in this particular reading, what I want you to know that this represents, that what I'm telling you in this is about everyone coming into the alignment of themselves and their source and entering the vortex of their destiny that represents their beloved. And we got Mars and Venus coming together, and this month especially. And if you didn't watch Tatiana's astrology report, it's all about the masculine and feminine merger and coming together to bring balance to beloveds coming into alignment to anchor in the, this love that we've all been desiring. But until you really can come to this place that I'm talking about of I am more than enough, and letting go of the expectations and letting go of the limitations. And so in this case, that bondage is the stories that I'm talking about that are playing out. And, I didn't even realize stories that have been coming up that I've been telling myself for 2 to 3 weeks. All these things have been going through and cycles have been revisiting, and things that with my mom being in the hospital and having surgery. And that's why I'm here today live versus getting, a recorded video done and produced for you I showed up live. I would have not been here had I not showed up live today, because there was no way with what I had going on my plate could I get all of that done. But I'm here and I'm showing up, and I'm showing up open, raw, and real. And I want you to realize this is helping you give yourself permission to do the same. And that no matter where you are in this, you're good enough. I am more than enough to do what it is I came here to do, be, and have, and to experience the alchemy from a higher state of being. So my physical state with my beloved can come in and I can experience real love without waiting. But Okay. So part of that, to have this, so I probably should have led with this card, but this card came out first, or this card came out first, so I went there. But to get this and this balance of this masculine and feminine energies, you have to accomplish this. And to accomplish this is literally mission accomplished. Welcome home. So what I want you to understand, so I feel like, and I didn't know this was going to happen, but I feel like this is an opportunity to share with you the deck of cards and what it means and what this card means. Because if this deck of cards was a game, by drawing this card, you have won the game. And that means when you win the game, you get the beloved. Because you have accomplished what you need to do for yourself to come into alignment with yourself, your source, your purpose, your mission, and who you are. And then that brings you everything you want. So the first thing I want to tell you is this card deck is the point of this card deck. It's a self-actualized 11-step concepts that helps you discover true love. So it's 11 steps to finding true love. Okay. And so in this pathway to true love, what this means is that, and it's the take me home pathway. And so the take me home, what that represents is you becoming free in your heart, you becoming sovereign. And to do that, there's 5 suits in this, 5 color suits, and each color suit has 11 cards in each suit. The first suit is a slate suit, and it represents the shadows, and it represents the chaos and the confusion and the things that we go through in order to learn lessons. And so kind of like say the tarot deck in some ways, there is 11 lessons that you have to master in order to accomplish this take me home pathway. And the second deck, suit is aqua. And the aqua is the pathway that it takes you on in this 11-step process to true love. And I will read to you what those 11 steps are that you need to master. And that is, the step 1 is you need to surrender. Then step 2 is spiritual awakening. You begin to then raise your frequency as you move through a transformation, which is step 4. This creates the breakthroughs. And then you start to integrate the information that you experience. And through that, you recollect who you are and you rebirth out of it. Okay? And that's step 7. Step 8 is you become one with yourself. Step 9 is your reality starts to harmonize with your inner state of being. That puts you in step 10 of the entering your vortex of your destiny, of when you get into the vortex. The vortex is the state of frequency of energy that's in alignment with your highest version of you and what it is you came here to do, be, and have. And then step 11 is mission accomplished. And that means that you have now become the majestic swan goddess, which is over here. So the majestic swan goddess. And if you read my book, Twin Flame Code Breaker, I shared with you what the majestic swan goddess really meant. In this then, and I'm going to share with you too, because that's this card. Okay. I'll read this message for you in a minute, because this is the outcome of all that. So in that, then there are 11 different processes that you go through internally as your twin flame activates you through these 11 steps to help you accelerate your journey and your ascension. And then there are 11 aspects or partners or types of partners. It could be the masculine and feminine energy. It could be the twin flame energy. It could be a facilitator energy. It could be a karmic energy. It could be a soulmate energy. It could be the high priestess energy. It could be a king queen energy of learning how to get, set boundaries and things like that. So we go through like all these aspects of ourselves and collecting that to become whole and complete as you're going through these 11-step processes to true love within yourself. And then there's 11, there's the red. So that's a red suit. Then we move into the fifth one that's also 11 cards, and it is an amber suit. And that is the activations that you can do. And this is one of them. So this is the amber. And this is a violet flame activation that can help you become the master alchemist of your reality. And so in that, then, just to recap, you have the slate suit that is the lessons you learn. You have the aqua suit that is the pathway to true love that you're taking on the 11 steps to self-actualize into all that you came here to do and create who you are. And then in the red suit, you got your twin flame journey that's paralleling it, that's activating you to accelerate your process through your own personal steps to self-actualize. Then you have all these different aspects of masculine and feminine energies and teachers that are helping you also go through that process. And you have 11 different activations that can help accelerate your process. That is what this deck is about. Now, in this changing your story that I started in the reading, this was the card that came up saying mission accomplished and welcome home. So what that says is that when you're going through these processes and you're letting go of those lower states and you're alchemizing these things, you are becoming your own genie in a bottle, basically. And in this case, you're becoming the swan goddess, is what I call it, because of my story and my connection with swans. Now, to read it, and it is the 1111 card, so that's the number is 1111. So just like the majestic swan, you have the ability to captivate with supreme radiance. Wear your crown of glory with dignity. Your life portrays a beautiful image of ease and grace, as your actions exemplifies wonder and motion. You stand tall with pride and go forward in life with steadfast inner peace and purity. You embody the harmonic balance of masculine and feminine energies, creating oneness with your divine source. You're in alignment, which generates personal empowerment, allowing you to experience supreme joy and spiritual enlightenment, living moment to moment. Take time to explore the beauty of your journey. This card implies that you have become the oracle because you have aligned with your higher wisdom, which has been directing you this entire ascension journey. You have become one with yourself and the world. Stay the course and focus on the progress, not the perfection. You have earned the ability to make meaningful money and have affirming relationships. Consider this card a huge congratulations because you have found heaven on earth. May you continue to experience inner peace and happiness. Welcome home. And so I want to leave you with that concept tonight is welcome home. Welcome home. Thank you for being a part of my journey. Thank you for being a part of teaching me what to teach others, all of you. Because if it wasn't for you guys showing up to show me, and then me taking action and showing up and learning how to change my story by putting my pain into a purpose, and then teaching other people how to do that, then I wouldn't be on this call right now. I call it a call. That's what I call the calls with my sessions with clients. You know, it's like a call. Like, okay, so I feel like we're all on a call tonight. We're all on a call. So thank you guys. Thank you so much. I encourage you to take action, take responsibility, make a conscious choice to choose you and to set loving boundaries. And that is for you to then be able to learn how to receive when you can give to yourself. And that is what my mother, if you didn't hear me talk about my mother, go back and watch the beginning of this because I led into this changing stories through my mother, and I'm going to kind of close with it. I've got the will of my mother, and she feels so weak right now. And it's because her spirit is being broke like the wild horse that I am because her physical body is not allowing her to go through what she needs to. Hey, Gina, I love you. It's taken her being in bed and a broken hip to force her to be still. Okay. It took me COVID to do the same thing last year in bed for 4 months. And so if we don't resist this, we don't have to experience it. So take my advice and try to let go of your resistance so you don't have to be laid up in bed like my mother or myself to be able to force you to face you, you know? And that way you can learn how to show up in a place of loving yourself and sharing then that love with other people. And yes, so I really just feel lost for words right now, and I don't even know why. And I know why, because there's an energy presence right now that's bigger than my words. So I'm going to pause and let this energy just kind of come in, and I want you to receive. Okay, that's it. Like, I want you to receive, and then I'll take a couple questions before I hop off. Okay, see if anybody has any questions, just specifically. So, and I'm hearing the words, I am one, I am one, I am one. I am the one, I am the one, I am the one. I love the one, the one, the one. I am one with the one. I am one with the one. I am one with the one. I am the one. I am the love of my life. I am the love of my life. I am the love of my life. Wow. I am the love of my life. I don't think I've ever said that before. I want to leave you with that. I'm the love of my life. I receive, I receive, I receive. My heart is full, my cup runneth over. My heart is full, my cup runneth over. My heart is full, and my cup runneth over. I am love, I am light, I am one. I am love, I am light, I am one. I am love, I am light, I am one. Yes. Hey, Elaine, I love you too. I love all of you. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little light language with my fingers now. Woo. Okay, I have chills from head to toe. Ah. Okay. All right, I'm going to see what everyone said here for a second. Oh, Amy, that's so beautiful. Thank you. Pretty. It's pretty. I was calling you Getty a while ago. I'm sorry. Yes, pretty. You got it. When you take action by putting yourself first and showing up for you, yes, you're right, Cosmic. Like, we don't have to seek anything because we already are it. So when you become the love, you're not separate from it. And everything, migrates to you. So, okay. I'm going to head out here just a second, but did anybody have any questions? And while you're maybe putting your question down there, I'm going to go ahead and just, for those of you that showed up maybe late or just came in and didn't hear me mention that the card deck is now available. So you can get the card deck. And I gave a little demonstration of it in a way I didn't know I was going to do that just came through. It was part of the reading. Did a collective reading. I did a little bit of talking about changing your story and how to change your story and my experience with changing your story and why I'm showing up here live today. And by changing my story, by, not limiting myself to say, okay, well, I couldn't get a recording down. I couldn't get it produced, so I'm not going to show up, right? No, this is how I'm showing up because it's the only way I can show up for you today. Oh, thank you, Shannon. Thank you. But the card deck's available and it's been nominated for an award. And I forgot to put the link for the nomination for the award in the description for all of y'all. But when I get off here, I'm going to put I'm going to add in that. So if you're coming in later, and if you wouldn't mind voting for me, and even some of you have to vote for everyone in all categories. And I'm in a specific category for this. And if I win, I go to Denver to receive an award for I forgot the name of the thing. It's like Intel, but I don't know what it stands for without looking at it. But basically what that means is it's an international mind, body, spirit resources type convention that takes place annual. And I would literally go to a banquet in June to receive an award for creating this deck of cards, and it got nominated for it. So I'm super excited. So I would appreciate your support, and I will leave the link for you. So yes. Oh, thank you, Cosmic Light. I receive Cosmic Light. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. No other questions then. And so I will go ahead and leave you guys with one more like huge, big blast of love from my heart to yours. Okay. I love you guys. And I'll be back hopefully as usual next Thursday, which is Thursday's my day that the videos come live. That I normally record. And as soon as I can, I will be starting that next series of the Fresh Start series I told you was coming. I just got sidetracked with my mom in the hospital having surgery with lots of things going on with her. Loads of love. Have a great night.